Canelo Alvarez and Sergey Kovalev, they waited and waited and waited and waited at the MGM Grand Garden Arena in Vegas for UFC 244 to wrap up at Madison Square Garden in New York. And it's Canelo Alvarez going up to the light heavyweight division, and it's a 11th round TKO. So now he's a four-time world champ in different divisions at TKO. Let's go out to Vegas. Brian Campbell is there at the MGM, our combat sports expert here at CBS Sports. So they waited forever to get this fight started. Your biggest takeaway from the fight is what?
That we knew Canelo Alvarez coming in was the biggest star in the sport and one of the best pound-for-pound fighters. But he might be even better than we thought he was coming in, because this was a spectacular finish to what had been a very close fight. We know Canelo moving up 2 weight divisions. What he got against Sergey "Crusher" Kovalev was a technical boxing performance from the 36-year-old veteran champion. Canelo had to navigate that. It was very close on the scorecards at the time of the stoppage in round 11, with Canelo up 96-94 on 2 scorecards, 95-95 on the third one. Well, he took the honor and privilege out of the judges' hands in the end by delivering a thunderous 2-punch combination to knock Kovalev cold into the ropes. Referee Russell Moore waved off the fight immediately. What you have here is a great fighter showing you that you really can't put any limitations around what he can accomplish. Becomes the first fighter in boxing history to hold titles in 3 weight divisions simultaneously. Also joins that group of great Mexican countrymen, winning 4 titles in 4 divisions, as you mentioned. But you want to talk about who's a pound-for-pound king in this sport. Canelo certainly boosted his contributions in that conversation. When you look back over the last 12 months, we've seen Canelo Alvarez move up to 168 pounds and win a title. We've seen him come back down to middleweight and unify belts. And now we've seen him go up to 175 pounds and knock out one of the biggest punchers in the sports and a first ballot Hall of Famer in Sergey Kovalev. You want to crown him best in the world, you can do that after this night, because Canelo Alvarez proved that he's daring to be great on the regular, and it's going to be hard to stop an all-time great performer like him.
All right, so the next question always after a great fight is, what's next? What's next for Canelo?
You know, it's a great question, and he was largely non-committal in the post-fight interview afterwards. When you consider, like I mentioned, has titles in 3 weight divisions. Yes, at 175 and making his debut tonight, he did pick off, let's be honest, if we're going to say, not the easiest of the champions at light heavyweight, but certainly at 36, Kovalev passed his prime, not the destroyer he once was. So you have to ask yourself, if you're Canelo, do I want the smoke from the full champions, from the guys like Artur Beterbiev, the unified champion, unbeaten, knocked out everyone he faced? Or do you want to go back down to middleweight if you can safely lose the weight that he added on and go back down to 160? Certainly with DAZN, which has the exclusive contract to air Canelo's fights in the States, they have plenty of big-name middleweights. He was asked about that fight everybody wants, which is a 3rd fight with middleweight champion Gennady Golovkin, who just regained the IBF title last month. Canelo said, look, I have nothing left to prove with him, but it would do big business. If the people want it, we can give it to him. If I had to guess Canelo's next step, unless he can really clear out territory and find another way to make big history, there certainly are big names at middleweight, whether it's Golovkin, whether it's champion Demetrius Andrade, whether it's Sergey Derevyanchenko, who looked great in a close loss to Golovkin in early October. Wherever Canelo goes, the money's going to follow. He brings it. But once again, this is your biggest star in the sport. He also might be your best fighter in the sport, and it's rare when you can be both things at once.